Alright, as some of you are probably already aware, there is a way to skip most of the battles in a DA office, and then it also includes this set of puzzles here, by just one little nifty trick, that if you take your mouse and you're on windowed mode on a Windows computer, and you drag it up to the top bar, that's like the top of your window, and hold it down, you notice that your game freezes a bit. Well, it freezes while you hold it down. Now, if you do that and run into a corner that's jittery like this, see how it's jittery? That's jittery, right? If you hold it down for like a second and then release it, you might just go right through the corner. You might want to change your angle, and eventually just go right through it, just like that. Now you're in the gray, and it can go right through the whole puzzle. Or if you need a tune-up, you can just press the button. But doing this, you can just go right past this puzzle room, just like that. But be careful, because once you do that, you can't go back through. I've tried ways to get through. It doesn't seem like you're able to get back through because the door is locked and you can't load in the room while you're in the gray. It's complicated, but I don't think you can go back through. So be careful. Make sure you got everything you need before you do that. So now this room does not have any way to skip. But if you're in this room and you're in a mint, like a appointment, believe it, and you go in between the two spaces here, if you see how this weird thing here, if you go basically in this spot but in a bowling mint, if you find the right angle and you can time it right, you can do the same thing, just run right into it, freeze your game, and then you will move in between the two I guess stacks of money, and you will be able to skip this battle right over here. And while you can do that in other places in the mint, in this room, you don't have enough space to skip the battles, because the battle trigger hitbox is bigger than it seems. So, yeah. Okay, so I guess while I'm on the topic of this room, I should also mention that you can technically skip all of those two battles, and I guess this one too, if you're in a mint. If you have two tunes, just jump together in this corner here. Eventually, one of the tunes will push the other one onto up there to fight those cogs, but I haven't found a way to bring both tunes up there. So while you can skip all of the battles, technically all the battles in this room with one tune, I haven't found a way to do it with all the tunes. So it's not a really efficient method. So I just wouldn't do it. I've tried it before, and when I was a lower tune, and it actually got me killed because I couldn't get Jake up there when I already got Clyde up there. So. Alright, so now we got this room here, the diamond room. So you have to do the first set of cogs that you find over there. And even if you can find a way to skip that, you should still do it, because the way DA offices work is that you have to do at least 2 battles per floor for the office to count. If you finish the office and you've gone through one floor and you only did 1 battle, then that whole office will not count. Like, you'll still get points for the cogs you defeated, the jury notices and stuff, but you won't earn a suit part. And if you have a task or whatever this is to do with DA office or a facility, that won't count either. So you have to make sure you do at least 2 battles. That means you have to do one of the battles, preferably one of the weaker ones, and then skip the ones that can be skipped after that. And then do the last battle of the floor, and that will count. If you just do that for every floor, your office will count, and you will defeat the least amount of cogs possible, and if you're low tune, you will be as safe as possible. So, this is the warning. This rule could change in the 1.1, because in 1.1 I heard that they are fixing a lot of these bugs and glitches. So, this rule could also change, but at the same time, it also makes sense why this rule exists, because and it wouldn't make sense for them to make it like 3 cogs, because some battles are skippable for a reason, right? So you have to do at least, basically the 2 battle rule is meaning that there are always going to be 2 battles that were not intended to be skipped. One in the middle of the floor and one at the very end of the floor. But you could technically just do any 2 battles and the office will count, so I would just prefer to do the lowest battle and last battle, and that will count. So I don't think this rule will change, but the bugs and glitches might get fixed, so just a heads up there. So anyway, right here, see the jittery corner here, just do the little trick and you phase right through. Just like that. And make sure you go a little bit far away from this battle, because the battle trigger hitbox is actually pretty close to the cogs. Like, if I stand here, like the battle trigger is like, basically at the very beginning of this hallway turn. So you want to be very careful. And just go really far around those cogs. So to see that the battle trigger is really far close to the cogs. It's really far away from the cogs. And also the same thing on the side, so you want to be very careful about that. So that's up there. Alright, so now for this set, you just want to run right over here to this bookshelf over here, against the corner. Just grab the bar, and you go right through it. Now sometimes you might accidentally phase right back in. That's alright. All you have to do is just stay along the wall here, and for this cabinet you can go on the right side of it. And then just squeeze to the left side of this lamp, and you can try again. It's easy as that. And I must also warn you about this one. The battle trigger is pretty far up the stairs, so you want to make sure that you go all the way past the stairs, basically right here. So look at how close the battle trigger for it is. Like that. So you can easily trigger the battle if you're not close enough. So let me destroy these cogs real fast. Alright, so yes. And by the way, if you do end up glitching into here by accident, you can't just go past here, because as I said, the battle trigger is still on the stairs, so you're end up triggering the battle like that. So, with all those are all the skippable ones in the EA offices. Now I could probably go show you guys the one in the mint real fast, just two skips that I have in the mint, 2 or 3 skips that I have in the mint, so I'll be right back. So for this boomerang room, and yes, that's what it's called, the boomerang room. You could just go right through here and go past this first set of cogs. But the second set of cogs you can't skip. The camera is very weird in this room, but the second set of cogs you can't skip. You have to do that. So yes, easy as that. Don't have to do any actual glitches. Just go right past it. Easy. Now this battle is a bit more complicated, I guess. You don't have to glitch for it, but it's still more complicated. So, you have to run along these barrels here, but if you don't want to risk getting any gags, you can jump, and then you might get healed, but yeah. But if you don't care about the gags, then you can just run right on the gag barrels. But be cautious, because you basically have to be touching pretty much have to be touching the gag barrels in order for you to skip this battle. If you go even the slightest bit away from them, you might trigger the battle. So, be very careful about that. Okay, maybe I actually exaggerated that a little bit. You can go a little bit away from the barrels, but it's much safer to just run along the barrels, because you could still accidentally activate the battle. Because Clyde just did it by being slightly away from the barrels. He didn't activate the battle, but it still can be dangerous though. So okay, now this was the room I was talking about before. So if you just do this, this one involves doing the cursor on the top bar thing. If you run right into it from here and grab the top bar, you can just walk right through it, just like that. You can skip that first battle, and not a lot of people know this apparently, but you can skip this battle too. You go right over to the third battle here. This one you can't skip. You can go over here, but trying to go through this will activate the battle here, and I think this one is yeah. You can already tell that this one right here is too close to this battle. You activate the battle, so yeah, you can't skip both of them, but you can skip the second one and the first one. So yeah. All right, and so this next skip actually works for TTR as well, and I think most of the ones I've shown in the video also work for TTR, but the game has a few more fixed bugs um, in some cases in TTCC. And TTCC has fixed a lot of bugs in the game, but in terms of like going through walls and stuff, or at least in the terms of the stuff I've shown, most of the stuff has been fixed. But this one definitely worked for TTR. You can just go to the battle on the right and just literally just glide, go along the wall, and you can skip both of the battles in the diamond room, just like that. But yeah, and I think this also applies for the other version of this room, which is the version of it that has the supervisor in it. I'm not 100% sure, but considering the room is basically the same except there's a safe in the back, I'm pretty sure it does. So you can skip those battles as well. But I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's skippable. So. Okay, so the last one I have here is this battle here with all these giant goons. This one is actually, I think, one of the only ones in the Office D that doesn't involve a glitch. All you have to do is just run along these file cabinets here, and then just stay on the left, and go into the door on the left, and you can pass the step. Not a lot of people know that you can do that, but you can do that. But be very careful, because I think this one is much more, you have to be much more cautious about, because I think even if you go even a tiny bit off the cabinets, then I think for this one you will trigger the battle. So be very careful about that one. And so yeah, there you have it. You combine all these things with, combine all this stuff together, and you can probably do a mint in a DA office with the littlest amount of cogs possible. That is, if you're trying to get your suit more quickly, don't need as many dirt notices, or sub, I guess in this game subs. Or if you were like me and you were really low and you didn't want to die, so you just did, so you can do that too, right? I was really worried I would die in the DA offices, but I ended up being able to survive. But if you're really low, and you're afraid of dying in the offices or mints, then you can just go skip those battles. But they'll probably be patched to 1.1. I don't really know, but some of them might be, some of them might not be. Maybe all of them will be. I don't know. I know that in TTR, the ones that involve you holding the top of your screen, or the top bar up there, in general, that glitch isn't patched, because if you find a jittery corner in TTR and you do that, you can still go through it if you try hard enough. But TTR has fixed a lot of the jittery corners and stuff like that, and they also fixed in facilities being able to go through walls and facilities in general. So again, while this glitch isn't fixed in TTR, there are still some cases where it's not possible to do, because they've been able to make other changes that make it impossible to do. So yeah, so just be aware that while it does exist in TTR, it may be a little different. So yeah, so excited for 1.1. It actually comes out the next in a couple hours. I'll be making this video. So yeah, see you guys next time.